Hey guys, this is Ashley, Kang for Horizon Esports. This content has been brought to you by u.gg and I'm joined by the lovely Sjokz here at 2019 MSI. Hello!
Hi, Ashley. How are you?
I'm pretty good, very busy, but...
Yeah, as always, you're running around, but yeah, doing a great job.
Thank you. And thanks for saying yes to the interview. Yeah. And I'm just gonna get straight into it because we just walked out of that insane match of SKT versus G2.
Yeah.
And G2 had a very interesting pick, like, Pike top. And in the end, they came out of victorious. But what was your take on that match?
Well, I have to say, I think it's only normal because I'm from EU, so I want them to do well. So ever since the Vayne thing and a lot of crazy picks, I look at it with a very critical eye. So I'm like, okay, are you sure this is going to work? Because you still have to win games to get to the next round. It's not like you're already qualified. So I was a bit doubtful, but I also didn't know too much about it, so I reserved my, critique for in the game. And then when it went really bad in the beginning, I thought, well, this is a kind of pick. If you make a pick like this, you want it to get ahead. But as Wander said to me in a post-game interview, it's a support pick. So even if you fall behind, that's support live, you will get to a point where you'll be able to assassinate people. And he also said that they kept a cool head, which I think was very, very visible. I think in the Pongwu Buffalo game, I was disappointed with the fact that G2 just kept getting aced and fought, and they kept going in. I think this was different in this game, and it showed, which for me was the most positive thing about this game.
So G2's playstyle is a bit of a double-edged sword. They're quite aggressive and they're not afraid to try out creative picks. But in overall, I think that G2's experiments have been very successful throughout this MSI, and it has been able to catch a lot of other teams off guard. So what do you think about that G2's flair, that courage to try new things?
Yeah, well, I definitely think it's awesome because, at tournaments like this, you have to make your mark in your own way, no matter what that is, or double down and be amazing at your own playstyle or try different things. And the fact that G2 Esports is a team that really thinks about these picks and has players that are mechanically so skilled and versatile and also have deep champion pools that they can think about the game in a different way and that they're not afraid to bring it on the international stage is phenomenal. And I think... although I also get scared and I understand fans when they're like, oh my God, they're doing crazy things. But for now, it's bringing them victories. And I think it's very refreshing to see.
In contrast, coming into this 2019 MSI, people expected this to be the rebuilding of dynasty for SKT because they had such a dominating playoffs in the LCK. However, coming into the MSI, because we're just halfway into the group stages, they haven't had as good results as many analysts predicted. So what are your take on SKT?
Well, I think it's only fair that before the tournament, people regarded IG and SKT as the pre-tournament favorites. I think it's fair because you have to look at a legacy of an organization like SKT and players like Mata and players like Faker, plus the new players and how they played in the playoffs. Because we didn't know what they were going to do this year, and then they absolutely popped off. Teddy is amazing, Khalid is amazing, Khan is great. So I think it was fair. But I also thought we were going a bit too far because I honestly think it was all left to be proven at MSI. And I also think that we should maybe drop the narrative a little bit of this is, the same SKT, because this isn't 2013 SKT, the same as that was in 2015 SKT, right? I think you have to look at all of them with a different lens. And even though some common factors like Faker are players that can change the game and change a tournament, and the staff that they have behind SKT is one that we know can develop throughout the tournament, and we know that can find the strategy and rebuild the team in a tournament to build up to that final moment. But all in all, I think they are kind of... It's hard to say because I don't want to say performing as expected, but I am not completely surprised. And I think even though it's kind of a buzzword that people don't want to use, sometimes rosters do need time, right? And I think we maybe put too much expectation on them by thinking that in their first MSI against the best teams out of every region, they would just stomp everyone immediately. It's a great, amazing roster, but right now we can't see it, so we'll see as MSI progresses.
So it's been a series of upsets in the MSI. IG is obviously dominating at the top, but we even have teams like Pongwu Buffaloes and Flash Wolves taking a game. So going into the second round of MSI, what are some of your hot takes? What do you see any changes coming into the rankings?
Yeah, well, first off, I want to say that it's day 3 now, and I understand that people want to make definitive rankings of teams, but if there's anything we've learned in Worlds group stages and MSI group stages is that everything can change. I would say I really thought Phong Vu Buffalo would overtake the Flash Wolves in what is now fifth, sixth position rather, and that would also mean important things for the Vietnam region going into the future in terms of playing in planes and whatnot, or possibly could. I don't know now. I actually think Flash Wolves are upstarts and they're doing really well, and I think they might contest for that knockout place with, I want to say TL right now, but it could also be SKT, and it could still also be G2. I just don't want to get flamed for saying it. It's just what it looks like right now. Yeah.
Okay, one last thing. So we here at the Vietnam and Phong Vu Buffalo is always also competing in the MSI, and the crowd has been so supportive of Phong Vu Buffaloes and just very loud, very cheerful in general. So can you describe to us the atmosphere of the group stages venue in general?
Yeah, I would say, unfortunately, just like you, I don't always get to be in the room when it happens. However, I get to live vicariously through the people that translate for us to Vietnamese. And one of them is Zong. I think you worked with him as well. And I was meeting up with him when Phong Vu Buffalo was about to win versus G2 Esports. And the crowd was so loud, I could barely even hear him. And I said, can you come over? We need to prepare the interview. So he came over, we did, and then I saw him pacing and the crowd was getting loud, and I'm like, go into the room, just go, and just come back after, it's fine. And then he opened the door and it was like, rah! Also just the way the fans are so excited, running up to everyone for autographs and pictures and cheering and everything. It was about time we came here for how big League of Legends is in Vietnam, and it's been great. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Thank you so much for this interview,
No
and
problem.
I hope you enjoy the rest of the MSI.
You too.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. And this was Ashley Kang for Horizon Esports. This content has been brought to you by U.GG. For more League of Legends and 2000 MSI content, check out Horizon Esports at YouTube and remember to subscribe.
They're great.
Hey guys, this is Ashley Kang again. Just wanted to mention 2 things. Number 1, check out U.GG, because without their help and support, we wouldn't be here at Hanoi, Vietnam to give you all the coverage of the 2000 MSI. And also, remember to subscribe and check out our YouTube channel for the latest player interviews. Okay, thank you guys, and I'll see you soon.